Hello, hello, always Audacity. Can you hear me? Maybe you can let me know if you can hear me. This is the first time I'm trying a stream like this, so it is really a little bit of an experiment, but I will show the Bobby Fischer game. First, want to make sure you can hear me. Hey, Gil. Thanks for saying that. Okay, we have a few people here. Um, this is Rick from Chess to Impress. Volume is a bit low. Let me try my earphones and see if that is any better. I'm putting them on now. And I'm going through my earphones now. Maybe tell me if this always Audacity, if this is better than before I had the earphones on. Is it boost output a bit? Is it better with the earphone? Much better, says Gil. Thanks, Gil. Gil, I just saw your email and I apologize for not having responded. I will respond over the next few days. And I had a quick look at your game that looked like a nice knight fork there at the end. Thanks always Audacity for saying it's better. Okay, I think we have 7 people here, so we're going to start. I've never done this, show a grandmaster game or a famous game from the history in a live broadcast. I'm still trying to look for something in the content creators in chess who that has not been done yet, and I have not seen a content creator doing a live stream showing a famous game. It might have happened, but I haven't seen it. So I'm going to try this and see what people, if I get any traction and if this is something that people like. So let's get stuck in. Thank you, 7 people for joining. And I'll keep an eye on the comments as well. So please put in your comments about the game we're going to watch or anything else you want to talk about. We're going to look at the famous, one of the famous games from Bobby Fischer at the start of his career. He was only 17, just became 17 years old when he played this game. It was played in Argentina and Mar del Plata, and he played the Argentinian champion Olicio Gadia. And it is a classic. You might have seen it, and I've seen it many, many times, but every time I am amazed by Fischer's playing this game. So let's go through the game and see what happens. And as I said, any questions, just put them in the chat. Fischer played e4. Best by test, he called that. He always opened with the e-pawn. Although in the match in Reykjavik, he also opened the game with c4. But the rest of his career, he always played e4. Gadia played a Sicilian. And we see the standard moves of the Sicilian on the board. Knight f6, knight c3, and we have the Najdorf Sicilian. Bishop c4, Fischer's favorite move against a Najdorf. It should have been named after him. I think it's called the Sozin opening, the Sozin variation, but it should really be the Fischer variation, although Sozin played it before Fischer, but he really made this famous. Putting the bishop on a nice diagonal. e6, bishop b3 anticipating b5, and b5 comes now. Fischer castles, and you can win a pawn here with black. He can play b4, and that is removing the defender of the e4 pawn. It's attacking the knight, so the knight has to play, and then you can take on e4, and you say with black, I just won a pawn. But then white plays rook e1, attacking the knight, and if you play the natural move d5, then there is bishop f4 as the best move, and this is a very good compensation for the pawn for the white player. As you can see, all black's pieces are on the back rank apart from the knight on e4. That's a beautiful piece, but he's way behind in development, and that is very dangerous against the grandmaster, or it's very dangerous anyway. Fischer has already castled, his rook is already on e1, and all his minor pieces are in the game. So this is not a good option to go pawn hunting, and that's why black played bishop b7, a developing move, putting the bishop on a nice diagonal. f4 from Bobby, and knight c6 developing, and here Fischer decides to swap on c6. Knight takes, bishop takes, and f5. And that's threatening to open up lines, and the black king is still in the middle, so it's dangerous for black if lines get opened in the center. And that's why black plays e5, keep the lines closed so that the king on e8 is not exposed. But I highlighted the d5 square. That is now a weak square, and we'll see that that square will play an important role in this game. It is amazing how Fischer is going to use that d5 square. He first played queen d3, bishop e7. Black really needs to quickly finish his development. By the way, black is fine here. There's nothing strange has happened, but he quickly has to finish his development. Bishop g5, also putting the last minor piece in the game, and Gadia gives a check. King steps aside, and now he castles. Everything fine so far, but now Fischer is going to go after that d5 square. For the moment, that d5 square is well controlled by black. Two minor pieces are looking at d5, and Fischer, with his crystal clear logic, says, okay, I'm gonna remove one of those defenders of the d5 square. Bishop takes f6. Black recaptures. Of course, Fischer has given up the bishop pair, but it's all about that square on d5, and now he puts the bishop there. Rook a to c8, and yeah, simple chess, but it is not so easy to play simple chess. Here Fischer just takes the other miner that was covering the d5 square. Rook takes, and now the d5 square is in white's hands. That knight is going to jump to d5, and then we'll get a strong knight versus a bad bishop. Just looking at a comment here from Always Audacity. Thanks for trying something new. I watched a half dozen chess creators, including yourself. I think the key is regular uploads and shorter commentary. It seems as a creator gains traction, the videos grow. Yeah. Regular uploads and shorter commentary. Yeah, I know I haven't been uploading regularly at all. I've been focusing more on chess lessons than on chess video creation. And I know that if I want to get back into the world of chess creation, I have to do regular uploads. And shorter commentary, yeah, maybe shorter videos. Nowadays everything goes quicker. In the past my videos were probably between 10 and 15 minutes, and that's probably too long. Thanks for your feedback. Back to the game. Fischer first plays rook a to d1. Rook f to c8, that makes sense for black. He has a half open c-file and he puts his rooks there. All very logical, and now white Fischer is jumping into d5 with the knight. Very logical, crystal clear play. You and I could think of that. Removing the defenders of the d5 square and now putting your knight there. Looks so simple. Important is that he's hitting the queen on b6. The knight is attacking the queen, so black does not have time to take on c2. That would have been very good, winning a pawn and infiltrating in white's position, but his queen is hanging, so he has to do something about that. Queen d8, and now Fischer plays c3 to make sure there is no rook takes c2 coming. Bishop e7, and Fischer wrote about this game, and one of his famous quotes is, "This is the position I get in my dreams." And yeah, it looks very good for white, of course. He has a very, very strong knight on d5, and black is a very, very bad bishop of the dark squares on e7. But yeah, how do you continue? You have a good position, your minor piece is stronger than your opponent's, but black has no weaknesses. His king is safe. He has his queen and two rooks are positioned well. So how do you continue from here? And that is a difficult thing. I've used this position a lot in my chess lessons and asked people what they would play. A lot of people said, well, I would play f6, which is not a bad move. But then the problem is that after bishop takes f6, knight takes f6, g takes f6, okay, we've ruined black's pawn structure in front of his king, but we have also relieved black of his biggest problem. That terrible weak bishop on e7 is now gone, and also your beautiful knight on d5 is gone. So we have helped black solve the problem of his bad bishop. Okay, the price to pay is a shattered kingside structure, but it's not so easy for white. He's maybe slightly better. Well, he is slightly better, but it's not so easy to do something with that. And that's the drawback of, in this position, playing f6. As Fischer said, this is the position I get in my dreams, and he played one of the most amazing moves in the history of chess. I'm looking at Gil's comment here. 15 minutes is a good limit for a video. Showing too many variations gets a little overwhelming. Yeah, also true. It's all about balance, isn't it? Okay, let's look at Fischer's move here. You probably can see it on the right already, but he played this move. Rook d1 to a1. Back to the square where it came from. It was only played to d1 3 moves ago, and now it goes back. Unbelievable, but it's a very strong move. And what is the point of rook a1? Fischer recognizes that he plays with an extra piece on the queen side. If you look at this knight, it is covering these squares on the queen side. While the bishop is not covering any squares on the queen side, and it will take a while to get that bishop to do anything on the queen side. So Fischer says, I'm playing with an extra piece on the queen side, and I'm going to play a4, weaken up the structure there, and then with an extra piece or an extra, maybe you call it half a piece because the knight only covers 4 squares on the queen side, but still it's more than black's minor. And then I'm going to have an advantage. But who would think of rook d to a1? Not many players. But again, it is crystal clear logic. If you see what Fischer is planning to do, he has a hook here as well. That pawn on b5, we call that a hook. a4 would not do much if that pawn was back on b7, but now it is attacking something. It's threatening to create an open file, and that's the logic behind that move. Kadia played f6, nothing better to do, and there comes a4. You don't want to take on a4 because then white recaptures with the rook and has strong pressure then against a pawn on a6. The other rook will come to a1. So rook b8 was Gadia's choice. But unfortunately, it is already the losing mistake. It's amazing how when you have a positionally beautiful position and the tactics arise. And actually, this game was only one more move. There was only one more move in this game, and the game was over because suddenly there's a tactic in the position. You can see it on the right. I have not been able to figure out how I can only show the board and not the notation on the right. But yeah, Fischer took on e7. You would never in a million years give up that beautiful knight for that horrible bishop. But if you can win the game, then it's time to do it. Here black resigned because it's a simple tactic. You have to recapture obviously, and then queen d5 is a double attack. Check. And there's an unprotected rook on c6. That was the drawback of playing rook b8, is that the rook on c6 is no longer protected by the other rook. You have to play king h8, queen takes c6, and white is a full rook up. And this game well, it finished after knight takes e7 check, 23 moves. It was an example of 17-year-old Bobby Fischer. He was, of course, already a grandmaster and already very famous. He had already played in a candidates tournament. But yeah, his crystal clear logic, simple chess. He makes all the moves that you and I would make, and that is part of the magic of Bobby Fischer. That his for such a complex character, his chess was crystal clear. He made chess look easy, and as we all know, chess is not easy at all. But yeah, beautiful strategy, taking control of the d5 square, and then that amazing move, rook d to a1, recognizing that he had more pieces on the queen side than his opponent, and that was the side to play on. Instead of playing that f6 move, where he would help black solve his biggest problem, that bad bishop. Okay, I just wanted to show you this game. You might have seen it already. If not, then it is one of the great games in chess history. Short and sweet, is great training material as well, and it is a beautiful example as well of how strategy and tactics work together. Beautiful, crystal clear strategy from 17-year-old Bobby Fischer, and then suddenly there was a tactic, and Fischer gave up the knight for the bishop, and then wins the rook with a double attack. Gil says Najdorf said Bobby just drops the pieces on the board and they all land in the right places. That's indeed what Najdorf said. That's a beautiful quote as well. Yeah, indeed, that's what he made it. Fischer made chess look really easy. Of course, we have very superficially analyzed this game. There was a lot more boiling underneath the surface. But if you just look at it, just play through it as an amateur, you already see the beauty and the genius of Bobby Fischer and the beauty of his strategy. Okay, as I said, I wanted to try this out. Thank you for joining. The few people that did. I'm going to finish a live stream now, and I'll be thinking about the feedback I just got about the videos. Maybe I will make an effort to go back into content creation. I'll make the videos somewhat shorter, not too many variations, and then probably combine it with now and then a live stream showing a famous game from history. Thank you for watching. One more comment here from Always Audacity. I think 10 to 12 is good. Plus YouTube wants videos to be at least 10, I think. No, that's not true. Feingold is doing some under 5 now, which I'll always have time for. Yeah, Ben Feingold is a great content creator. He's a grandmaster himself, of course. But no, you don't need to. I think what you may be talking about is you cannot monetize. No, that's also not true. I think you cannot put ads halfway the video if it's shorter than 10 minutes, something like that. But no, you can definitely, of course, you can do the shorts, which you can now do up to 3 minutes. But videos of any length are possible. It doesn't have to be 10. Thanks, Gil, for your comment. Thanks, everybody. And I'm going to close the stream now. Bye-bye.